How do you assess your side's performance of the two legs, apart from pretty much their perfect?
Probably gave away too much counter-attack in the first half of the home leg, of the away leg, sorry, for us, their home leg. Changed something tactically in that game at half-time, and then controlled the next 45 minutes and then controlled this game. I think the pleasing part is how clinical we've been over the two legs. Maybe in previous ties, maybe in previous years in Champions League, we'd have won that game 3-0 or 4-0 over the two legs. But I think to go into double figures is really pleasing for us.
No, Georgia, Ellen, Lauren, how happy are you with how Becky and Pauline have stepped up and into the breach of the goals? Yeah,
really pleased. I think when you assemble a squad, I suppose in previous years we've assembled a squad where we've almost had our 11 and then maybe 7 or 8 players that we know we can call upon in some games, but over a consistent period it's been difficult for us. But this year and last year and this year, I think we've assembled a squad where we've got real consistency across the board, and you know, injury is part of the game, and losing nobody is a catastrophe for us, really. Of course, we want everybody, but you know, Ellen picked up the injury, and Pauline stepped up. Janine Becky stepped up. You know, Georgia Stanway's out, who was a real pivotal player for us last season, and we've managed to go, you know, the first 5 games with wins. So yeah, really, really pleased. I think it shows the strength and depth we've got, and we're excited to get those players back.
Nice to have a bit of a kind of tie this time round as well.
Yeah, but I thought but do you know what? When I reflect on that, we were talking about this before, because obviously we can draw Atletico Madrid in the next round. It's Champions League. You know, I thought we were probably poor in that Atletico Madrid game. You know, we don't want to try and avoid Atletico Madrid if they end up unseeded. For us, it's about concentrating on us, whether it's the league or Champions League or the cup competitions. I think ultimately for us, it's about, you know, just facing whatever we play next and making sure that our performances are good.
Just a word on Keira Walsh. I was noticing by her performance, just goes in between the spaces between defence and Lugano's midfield. I was just wondering how fundamental she is to playing through the thirds. As she was in the second goal, for example, you know, she drives inside the box, feed on the plate for
Yeah, listen, I know people will question whether I should have played her tonight. I've already seen the media that questions, you know, whether she should have played. Ultimately, she's important to us. I was asked 2 weeks ago about that and Keira Walsh and how important she is for us. I will not hold back. She is up there with the most intelligent football players I've ever worked with, and her intelligence in the game is unrivaled with players I've worked with. And in European football, she is so smart in the spaces she picks up, in the way that she affects our build-up, in her ability to dictate the game, in her ability to help players around her find spaces, in her ability to get the ball from areas in the pitch. She is pivotal for us, and she's professional enough to turn around games every 3 days. We brought her off today because we wanted to have a look at Tyler in that position, because it's her natural position. But yeah, her game intelligence is far above most that I've ever worked with.
And a word on your defence as well. Only 1 goal conceded this season. You've got to say, 5 games already. Very impressive stuff in your defence.
Yeah, and a disappointing goal, really. Like I said, we gave her so much counter-attack in that first game. That's not really like us, you know. And fair play to Lugano, it was a great finish. But we want to get back to being the team that doesn't concede goals. We shifted our style a little bit last season because of player personnel, and it shifted sort of the way that we scored and the way that we conceded goals, and we've probably retained a little bit of the identity we had in 2016, 2017 across that successful period. So yeah, we're pleased. People will look at the back four of Karen Bardsley, Lucy Bronze, Steph Horton, Jen Beattie, Demi Stokes in 2016 as a real force for us and a real benefit. But when I look at the back four that we've had over the last 5 games, you know, we can only aspire to potentially get there.
Any other questions? Nick, would you say this team is the most clinical you've had over the years?
Well, yeah, it seems it is. You know, we're scoring a lot of goals at the moment, but it's very early. You know, all the teams we've had over the 6 seasons have had different traits, and we've tried to almost mould them into the style that we want our football teams, whether it's men's, women's, boys, girls, we'll try and push them to play the style that we're known for. But at the minute, the likes of Janine, Becky and Pauline Bramer and Caroline Weir, are really chipping in with goals. We can only push the others like Tess Wooler, Jill Scott, Jess Parks, those type of players. Lauren Hemp's coming back to chip in with goals as well. If we create chances, we want them to be converted into goals for sure.
A couple of players down. Any concerns there?
Jill's got a knock, but she'll be fine. She gets a knock every game that she plays, really, because of the way that she plays, but she'll be fine. We're disappointed with the injuries that we're picking up, but we're looking at that and we're making sure that we try and stop that as quick as we can, because we don't want to be consistently losing players. But yeah, I know, hopefully the players have come through today. There's no one in the treatment room when I walked out, so that's a positive.
Everton on Sunday, have they surprised you with their start this season?
No, because I know Willie well. I think he's a very, very good coach. He consistently gets his team playing football, and he always plays, the way that I like the game played. He's got some good players there. He's got some good young players, and it sort of fits his brief that there. If you look at what he did at Bristol, and he gets good young players in, and look at the likes of Claire Emsley that we've benefited from, and Lauren Hemp here. So no, it doesn't surprise me. It'll be a difficult game. They're going to push hard this season to get as many points as they can, and we need to make sure that we're on our game and make sure that we play as well as we have done over these 2 legs to try and get a result that is positive and 3 points.